I tried it again to try to see if I could figure out what it is about how Rachie took her video that caused the back object to look smaller. First thing, putting it on the ground. You can't get the camera all the way to the ground. Naturally, you cannot. The lens of the camera, in my case, about 1.5 centimeters above the ground. So that's as close as I can get it. So now I'm changing the focus, investigating what that does. Does that make things look bigger or smaller? And obviously it makes the edges indistinct. One other thing, I have corrected my red object to be 4.5 centimeters. Actually, it's 4.5 on one side and 4.6 on the other side. And here we have the green again being measured. It is 1 centimeter. Okay, and here's the layout. What I'm going to do to try to get, because I can't get the camera to the ground, I've put blocks of wood underneath my objects now instead of my cups to get things closer to the ground. So we'll investigate, does closeness to the ground have anything to do with it? Okay, the green object is at 1 meter away, which I reckon is 39 3/8 inch. Also, I have a piece of wood here extended to try to simulate, like, I don't know, ground, like if it does light passing along the ground cause something. Here's at 4 meters, which is 157.5 inches. All right, so here now you can see a piece of the red poking down underneath. So that indicates the camera is actually below eye level just a little bit. Again, I wanted to make sure that I am not too high. I do not want to be too high, because being too high, we saw, causes the background object to appear taller. And we're trying to see why did Rachie's not appear, why did it appear small? So I lift up the camera, and right there, I think if you look closely, you can see red poking out on the bottom and on the top. So that indicates, in angular size, the background object is definitely larger than the foreground object. But it was very hard to make that out. So here I am trying to line it up exactly as I can, and you can see the board underneath the red object. You can see the edge of the red object and the board that it's sitting on, and the board is not obscuring the red object, the base of the red object at all. And red object definitely taller. The background object definitely taller. Okay, and now here I reversed it. At first I just reversed it because I figured someone was going to say my floor is not straight, and so let's go the other way. But I realized in doing so that now that the background object is in the light and the foreground object is in the shade, it's much more distinct and very easy to make out the edges like this. So that is something that I've learned. The lighting makes a big difference. I'm doing the focus again. Here I am focused on the near ground object. And also the lifting up and down to line it up just perfectly. Right here, I think you can see the red object is poking a little bit out from the bottom and definitely up over the top. So the background object is clearly bigger, and that was much easier to see than when it was dim. Okay, and now focusing on the two things to show the impact of focus. And just trying to focus on the object there. Okay. And again, I'm going to line them up now. And I figure, let's see, little too low. Right there. Right there, I think that those bottoms are lined up perfectly. And you can see that the background object is definitely taller than the foreground object. So that's what I found. So what did I find? The most important thing that I found is that the lighting is really, really important. And by lighting the scene better, I was able to make out the background object much more clearly, and that it makes a difference. I don't think that can fully explain Rachel's result. We'll have to keep looking there. Focus is a major issue. Obviously, the biggest single issue is just the sharpness of the image. We need to be able to clearly see the top and bottom of each image distinctly, and you can focus on the two different objects individually to get that done. What else did we try here? You can't get the camera at ground level. You just cannot. And so I used the boards to line things up. I think that's about it. So focus, sharpness, good lighting, and being up off the ground or down near the ground does not make any difference at all.